right, Alice. Are you ready for some original content?
I'm ready for original content.
So,
What does this mean? I was assigned homework, which I was doing, which was listening to Sunday shows.
I'm glad you were. I listened to them as well, but we've got some homegrown original content. We've talked about the mental health crisis in this country, right?
Yes. Indeed, we have.
So, and a lot of places you can find this are like on social media. You can see the things that are wrong with members of your own community.
Right. Typically on the Facebook community groups is like the main place where people display their mental illness.
Exactly. So
I'm turning the phone noises off so that it doesn't distract anybody.
Good, because I don't want you to see the Facebook pages.
I'm not doing anything. I just turned off the sound.
I don't want you to see the Facebook pages or the Instagram pages because there's a new post up there.
Whose new post? On whose?
There's a new post.
Whose Facebook and Instagram
let me tell you the story.
Okay.
So, you know that... So I just dropped my brother off in Boston and drove it back.
Yes.
And... you know that dirt road that's very sensitive that people talk about, don't go too fast on the dirt road?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I hit that dirt road, and I'm not going very fast. It's a very bumpy road, so it's not comfortable to go fast. It's nothing you want to go fast. And there's a car probably about 100 feet behind me, keeping a pace with me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm noticing that my car, it's a dusty day. My car is kicking up a whole lot of dust. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, wow, it sucked to be that guy back there. But it's picking up a whole lot of dust. And then I see a woman in front of me is coming on a bike. So I'm like, damn, she's going to bike into the dust storm between me and the guy behind me. She's going to get just killed by this stuff. So I drive, so I get, the dirt road ends and becomes a paved road again.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, not going very fast whatsoever.
Okay.
As I'm driving down the street, suddenly the car that was behind me is now 1 foot behind me. And the guy is like shouting something, giving me the finger, sometimes with both hands. I don't know what he was steering with. Giving the finger, like shouting something. So I'm like,
no.
So I thought,
no.
I one of the reasons I'm very careful when I drive on that road because I don't want to hit any turtles because the turtles cross it. So that's one of the reasons that I know I wasn't going very, very fast. So he's giving me the double finger, and I'm like,
oh no,
this is interesting. Like, did I leave something on top of the car? Does he recognize me from like the hateful columns I wrote for the Herald? I mean, he was so incredibly irate, and the face just contorted and red. And I can tell that he was saying the F word, and I'm like, what is going on with this psycho? So I thought to myself, you know what? I think since he's a foot behind me and not like stop, I think, is he going to ram me? Is he like, what is this dude doing? So I thought that I would start making my way over to the police station. So, but as I do, he then pulls off to the left. So he's the road's kind of splits. He just pulls off to the left and pulls. As I'm stopped, he's pulled onto the side, off of the road, but yelling something. And I'm like, what could possibly, is there a,
oh my goodness.
It's like the scene out of Vacation. Like, did I have the dog, like,
oh no,
attached to the back of the car without knowing it or something? Because this guy is bull bleep. So
I really want to know who it is now. You're tempting me to check
I at first thought it was
media.
our neighbor. I first thought it was Dan. I like screwing with me, but it wasn't. So now I'm looking over there, and all I can hear is he's going, "You mother bleeper! You mother bleeper! You mother!" I'm like, holy God! Does he think I just had sex with his wife or something? I was absolutely had no idea.
How does this happen to you?
I thought, is it possible that he was mad that I kicked up so much dirt because he knows the woman who had to drive into it? It's not my fault that the dust storm got kicked up, you know? So I thought,
it's a dirt road.
So anyway, I'm like, okay, so now since this guy's a psycho, I'm going to hit record here and make sure I'm documenting this before he starts ramming the car or whatever.
Something else crazy, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a kind of a wuss car he had, and he had like he had a black lab in the car that had a little sweater. So it's like, how much is he gonna like? How lethal is he? But he was apoplectic, mad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not used to see. He is 10 out of 10, losing his effing mind. So, so here he is. So I said, what's going on? What's going on? And he says, you mother effer, you were breaking the speed limit. And here's the exchange. I have cleaned this up. Yeah, in the Patreon, we'll play the uncut version. This is the cleaned up version.
Okay.
Going 35 miles per hour. I went 34. I was going 35.
That's him calling me mother effer. He's got
Okay.
like a French accent or something.
miles per hour. What's wrong with you?
20 miles per hour is the limit, you motherfucker!
What?
That's like I'm being browbeat by a very angry Napoleon at this point.
What's wrong with you?
20 miles! Because of animals like you!
Because of animals like me, 20 like I just drove down the road. Not particularly fast, slow enough so that I could avoid turtles had I seen any.
Animals?
You're,
Why are you calling me a mother?
you're a criminal!
I am?
You're a criminal!
For going how fast? 30 miles per hour down a dirt road?
20 miles per hour is the speed limit!
Are you a cop? Mind your own business, you loser. You.
Now he wants to fight me.
Here, come here!
What are you trying to do? What is it going to do?
Balls!
What?
And he says I have no balls, which may or may not have been true. I was not looking forward to fighting him, I can tell you that.
What are you trying to? Are you trying to fight me? You trying to fight me?
Now he sees the phone. Mm-hmm. And now he's...
Then he got nervous.
Yes.
You can take your movie, I don't give a
Okay.
Now neither of us know the etiquette now because he's curtailed wanting to fight me in the street because I'm taking a movie.
Go ahead!
Why don't you go ahead?
No, you have a recorder in your car?
Why? You were just saying something. Go ahead.
It's the speed limit. You drove at 40 miles per hour, with 20 miles per hour.
Are you going to apologize for calling me a mother? That was very mean.
Then he says I called him mother, which I didn't.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't call you a mother.
Just say it.
No, I didn't. That was mean. So you apologize? Not nice. Not nice.
So then I drove off, and then he hit the gas, and he drove right behind me still, just to tell me he was going to attack me, whatever. And then I took a right.
Doesn't it just tell you, by the way, the total change of behavior when he realized you were recording the exchange?
Oh, sure.
Doesn't that expose like a lot about him as the
But
person?
also, and I wasn't going 40 miles per hour, but let's say the speed limit was 20, and I was going 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
You said 35 originally.
Oh, I had no
fairness.
idea what the charge was going to be, and I didn't know how fast I was going. I know I was going slow, and I know that however fast I was going, he was going the same speed because he was keeping up with me.
He came out at the same time.
He was keeping up with me.
Well, he's the speed limit police, apparently,
Right,
so
apparently.
he had to stay on you. That was his
But there was no-
responsibility
you
to
would
keep
not
up
have
with
seen-
you so he could call you a mother effer.
My concern was that I kicked up dirt, but there was no hot rodding happening
Because
there.
of
And I am
animals like you.
And I am somebody who
I'm dead.
does. I have little regard for the speed limit generally. But anyway, the fact that this guy, it's so important to him. Look at that. That person's going. Wait, it clearly says 20 right here. That is not 20. That is not 20. Yes. Now I get to lose my mind. Now I get to lose my mind on someone.
That's not even. I mean, realistically, out of the things you do that break traffic
Right,
laws,
that's
that's
not-
one of the more
No,
mundane
but just
ones.
imagine
Yeah.
what is going on in this guy's. These are when we talk about psychos. Like he's got the nice car. I'm sure the car is well kept. He's got the dog, the very all American
sweater.
black lab. The dog's got a sweater, the right sweater.
It's actually hot today too, by the way.
Right. But just imagine that. That's all it took for him to break, and not just. I mean, mother bleeper. This is oh my goodness. We've got problems in this country.
Yeah,
We do.
seriously.
I mean, I have no idea. Like, I mean, I don't think this guy's particularly probably lethal unless he's armed. Because, I mean, either you fight or you don't fight. That's what I found about tough guys is like the really only tough guys I've ever known, they don't have any of this come over here and fight stuff. They're fighting, you know?
Right.
The moment you start talking and he's not coming over and he's afraid of the phone and it's like whatever. But it's absolutely remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. Are you people crazy? Are you crazy? So because somebody's going over the speed limit of on a dirt road with 0 people on it, but you're behind him because somebody's breaking a law somewhere. you're going to cash in your happiness just to yell at somebody, to blow your stack, and be
it does
personally
seem out of proportion to the event.
You think?
Slightly.
You think?
So
And this guy lives in our town. He obviously lives here.
Does he live in the town? So this is my next question. So you told me not to check social media. Did you post this video?
Did. Yes.
Oh, so what happened?
I don't know. I just posted it. I don't know. I just didn't want to. But
Did you post it
there's
edited
only
or
so
unedited?
many guys. Unedited. There's only so many guys with that car and that accent. And I know that people are very sensitive about this road because there's turtles in the road, and I love the turtles.
Right.
I'm sensitive about the turtles.
Oh yeah, I think there's like almost nothing worse than people that run over turtles. So
I
it's
think
like pretty bad.
Probably that he saw the smoke that was kicking up, which I've never seen a car kick up like I was kicking up today because it was dust, because it's just dusty. And I think he probably thought, oh wait, that must mean he's burning rubber. He's really going fast, and he's a mother bleeper. But still,
because of animals.
I
like
mean,
you.
If your happiness, if your stability in your mind, in your sanity is controlled by the, pristine level on that road, then maybe you should go a different way. I mean,
I would think so. Like,
I mean, there are people speed all over the place. This is a town, and also there wasn't
all the time. Everybody on the highway is speeding like 98% of the time.
And by the way, this guy was aggressively riding he was happy.
So he was going the exact same speed you were, at least.
Well, in the dirt, but afterwards, in order to make it be known that I was an MF, well, I didn't know what he was thinking, or I didn't know what the psycho was doing. I was just fascinated. I was like, what could it possibly have been? But I knew, like, had I been speeding, I would have not had to ask myself. I would have said to myself, oh, it's probably going to be speeding. Because I thought it was maybe the dirt. But here's our problem, is that guy, his mind, it's not really about the speeding. His mind is broken. And my worry is that guy, probably, if he lives up here, is a professional somewhere.
Yeah.
And people take his advice. Maybe he's an academic.
Oh, he probably, or he's like a doctor who makes decisions about people's health, or he's like a teacher in a school who's teaching college students, an academic, like you said, or some government bureaucrat who's, making decisions that affect people's lives. So, yeah, absolutely. I'm sure if he lives around here, I'm sure he probably does have like a job where he has some kind of power over a bunch of people, and he's obviously completely freaking unhinged.
Yes, but
because that's just not normal behavior.
How many
to scream mother effer at people like on the road? Like, seek help, seriously.
Well, but obviously, and as well, it's like I had to ask him. So for the fact that I was asking him should have clued him in that I had no idea
why he was like. Well, like
it's not as if
you were wondering.
It's not as if I threw a full beer into the pond, and I'm like, it makes I had no clue.
Can you play him again?
Sure.
I want to hear him again.
My guy.
I don't understand.
Going 35 miles per hour. I was going 35 miles per hour. What's wrong with you?
20 miles per hour is the limit, you motherfucker.
What's wrong with you?
20 miles because of animals like you.
Animals? Why are you calling me a mother?
You're a criminal.
I am?
You're a criminal.
For going how fast? 30 miles per hour down a dirt road?
20 miles per hour is the speed limit.
Are you a cop? Mind your own business, you loser.
That part I stand by. Like, are you a cop? If not, really? It's like, seriously. I mean, what a way to be in somebody's business. What's the French bitchy man wave to call somebody Karen? Really? Really? You're an animal. Come on. You make the movie.
Wait, so did you just post this here, or did you post it in one of the town groups?
I didn't post it in the town group. I figured they'd take it down. But I said West Newbury. I guess you could share it to a town group if you want to. I mean, people probably should be warned.
That there's a psycho out there
Yes.
that if you go 2 miles over the speed limit, you might be accosted by an angry Frenchman?
Right. Maybe you should share it. Or share. Do we have a Facebook page for this?
From the burn barrel? I don't know. I think the burn barrel has to be in the town group. I don't know. I'll look after. I don't know, but I'm not going to mess with posting it right now. But yeah, I mean, what a lunatic. Like, I don't know what people are supposed to. Did you tweet it out too?
I did not tweet it. Should I tweet it?
You should tweet it too, I think.
What should I say?
Because we have some Twitter people who live in West Newbury. For sure. I mean, the same thing you said there.
What did I say?
You said... Hang on, I was just on it. No, I went away from it. Now I'm gone. You said like made a friend in West Newbury today. He was following me and screaming, giving me the finger, so I pulled over.
Okay, Phil.
What?
It's Phil.
Who's Phil?
Phil. No, that's not who's Phil. Just fill the air.
Oh, Phil the air. Sorry. I thought you were saying something about somebody named Phil. I was confused. We do know some Phils, actually, who listen to this show. But yeah, I do think like this should go in the town Facebook group. I'll post it in there afterwards if you're not comfortable to do it or you think it should come from like a second party. But I mean, that's really incredible behavior, I think, over speeding. I thought it was a little psycho, the woman who was like pulling people over on the dirt road for supposedly speeding. Do you remember her? So she had posted in the Facebook group before that she like hails people that she thinks are going too fast, so they pull over to let them know that they're speeding, which is like, that's insane behavior, obviously, but it's not like unhinged, dangerous behavior, right? Like where I would worry about the person's mental health. I mean, like I almost would report this person to the police. Would you? To say like road rage incident. If somebody murders me, I want a police report that this French guy yelled
for the
at
fact
me.
that he was driving, like he hit the gas up to me to drive aggressively twice. I mean that ain't great. I mean, the second time I thought he was going to ram me, that would have been the situation.
But I mean, the police do stuff about road rage incidents because there have been a bunch of road rage incidents that have like gotten violent recently.
Yeah.
Because a bunch of people are out of their minds.
Well, there's a chance, Alice, if we post it in West Newbury page, that he'll respond to it. There's not too many French people up here.
Yeah. So I don't know, because maybe I'm like psycho now at this point, but I tend to be on the side now of like preemptively report other people to the police because they're like getting ready to report. Like for all you know, he's calling the West Newbury police with your license plate number right now, and we're about to get a knock on the door.
Oh, that's not good.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, like, how do you know he's not? Because just like the people who pulled over and helped our child who was in our own front yard and came to our door and lectured us for 20 minutes and then called the police afterwards so they showed up. How do you know this guy's not going to call the police and say you were driving aggressively and you did something XYZ and make up something about you? Like, that's why I say, like, I feel like you should call the police.
He should have
and
made a movie.
Something. Because I don't, like, trust people anymore. Do you know, by the way, so, you know, I had told you a story about someone we know that got into reporting people on the Facebook page to the police for saying stuff that was conservative because she wanted them red flagged and not able to buy guns. So she's like now made a hobby out of anybody who says anything conservative on her community Facebook page. She calls the local police department and reports them. Like, literally, not them posting anything crazy. This person posted a link to a Tim Pool podcast, and she reported them to the police. Like, psychotic behavior. So, I had told you a story about her that, like, I heard from, like, a huge, long grapevine, like, 3 people deep that I don't even know what it is, that she was, like, inappropriate towards a babysitter. And, so, she, I guess, posted on the community page asking to get a babysitter. And somebody who was, like, closer to this story than I was said, like, don't babysit for this woman.
Oh.
Like, on the post, asking for a babysitter for whatever day. And she reported him to the police.
Oh.
So that's where we are now. That's where our society is. It's the report people to the police society. So I bet that dude did call the police department on you. Do you think he wouldn't? He said on that video that you called him a mother effer.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he also pulled over.
And he said you were a criminal and breaking the law. I mean, like, I bet you he called the police. I think when this show's over, you should call the police department and just say, like, this weird incident happened to me today. I just wanted to like call up the police and like report it because it was like a very strange incident and it made me uncomfortable. And like I know with
I
like
don't want to be a puss and say it made me uncomfortable.
well, whatever. I don't know. I'll call up and say you told me about it and it made me uncomfortable and we
Okay,
want
you
to
can do
report
it.
it.
That way
Okay,
I'm not a puss.
I will. I'll be the puss. Okay, because I don't want some lunatic Frenchman to shoot you in the middle of West Newbury or try and run you over
Who
with
would
his
have
car.
thought? Like, that's how it ends.
I don't know.
That's how it ends. I'd be almost honored. Like, this guy from Paris
That's what I was
took the
thinking.
time to kill me.
Maybe he's like a Canadian Frenchman or something.
No.
I don't know. But
no, he's not.
but then I was thinking when you were playing the video, I was like, how different would this be hitting right now if like this video was being played to me in the police station after like they recovered your body after he killed you out there or something, right? Like and this was like the evidence at the crime scene. Like that would be a different story. That would like totally change the tone of the whole incident.
If what happened?
If like I was watching it at the police station, like after this was the evidence they recovered from your person after he killed you or something. Right? That would like be a totally different version of events.
Say it again, because I was reading comments. I'm getting comments.
I'm saying this watching that video would hit a lot different if I was watching it in the police station after they recovered your body as like the evidence from the crime scene that they like found this last video you recorded of your attacker at the last moment.
Wouldn't that be
right?
great
Like,
content?
That would be crazy. That would be probably a must-listen podcast if I was playing your last recorded video.
What do you think when he said, "Come over
killed.
here to fight"? What do you think he would have done if I got out of the car and approached him?
I don't know. I mean, like, why was he calling you over to fight? That's like crazy. He was
Because
really gonna. He was really gonna.
Are you seeing them?
No, she wants to see them.
Oh,
We'll
yeah,
tell
I'll
you
show
after.
you
We'll
later.
show you after. But like, just the fact that he wanted to fight. I mean, like that in itself. Like, who wants to fight somebody for going 35 and a 20? Even supposing that's what it was, right? Like, I got pulled over for going, I don't know, 45 and a 30 the other day, and like the cop just gave me a warning and was like, "Pay attention how fast you're going." Like that was it, right? Like that. I mean, like, so what, the cop wasn't going to fight me over going 45 and a 30. Who are you? Like, why are you so emotionally invested in this? It's just wild to me. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm definitely going to post it in the West Newbury Facebook page because I want to know who that guy is. And I, like, want surveillance on him because what if he is going to kill somebody? He was trying to fight you. If you hadn't had the phone out and been taking a video, he did want you to fight him.
Yeah.
Going over the speed limit.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's crazy behavior.
Yeah. I kind of think, I don't know, but I kind of think, let's listen to it again.
Okay.
Going 35 miles per hour. I went 34.
Let the record show, and I want some credit here. I didn't have time to prep for this back and forth. I was spinning the wheel, and what could be the problem with this guy?
I was going 35 miles per hour. What's wrong with you?
20 miles per hour is the limit, you motherfucker!
What's wrong with you?
20 miles! Because of animals like you!
Animals?
Fucker.
Why are you calling me a mother?
You're a criminal!
I am?
Wow.
You're a criminal!
For going how fast? 30 miles per hour down a dirt road?
20 miles per hour is the speed limit!
Are you a cop? Mind your own business, you loser. You.
Come here! Come here!
What are you trying to do? What are you saying?
No balls!
What?
Come here!
What are
He
you
says
trying
what?
are
He
you-
says, come here, come
Come
here.
here, come here. You have no balls.
Oh, okay. Come here. Okay.
So it should be said that if he wanted to fight, he shouldn't sit there and order in. He can come out. He had stopped the car and pulled over. He can show me, illustrate balls if he wants to. But I don't think anybody who has a dog
Well, yeah,
with
you
it.
just pulled over to find out what the heck was
I
wrong
think if I
with
had
him.
gotten out of the car, and first of all, here's my
He
thing.
would have claimed you were the aggressor. That's why
Right.
he's calling you to come over there.
Right.
Is because then it makes it look like you came over and attacked him.
Right. I also think that if I was as angry as him and got out of the car, which is possible.
You do get that angry, but not over that.
No.
In this situation, you just find this extremely entertaining. So
Well,
you
yeah,
were like,
at the same time, when you've got an animal that's eyes are rolling behind its head, you are like, okay, all right. Where does this end up?
I know. I'm gonna actually, you know what group I'm gonna post it in? I'm gonna post it in the West Newbury Wildlife group just to get a little.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Spotted this strange animal around West Newbury
That is a good point,
today.
Alice, because now I've ID'd myself.
Yeah.
So the wildlife people are going to count. Poor me.
Well, but I think you've been very clear on the record on this podcast that you care a lot about the turtles. And
I love
you were
them.
being extremely careful not to hit turtles. So
I was indeed. I was going slow enough to look at the ground carefully to make sure I didn't hit any turtles. And
because that is an area where there are sometimes turtles.
I love the turtles. I love them. And I love all the animals. We've had a deer recently hanging around across the street from us that I wish it would come over and eat some of our overgrown plants and everything else.
Oh, and by the way, chicken update. We have intel from up the street. So we're down to 0 chickens. I forgot if we said that on the podcast.
Not a big number.
Yeah. So 2 disappeared. No trace. Then what was this? Thursday? Friday? It must have been Friday because we did the podcast Thursday. There were feathers everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah.
White feathers from our last chicken
It was a
mayo.
full trail.
It was like
Across
all
our
over
lawn,
the place.
Across the
in
driveway,
the coop,
into somebody else's lawn,
all
up
over
the street.
place. Up the street. So then like we got a text from people who live up the street saying that something they think like a fox or a coyote took the body up there to finish it off.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and there are foxes around here. I have a foxhound who's disinterested in any of this stuff, of course, won't even. It's fine. It's fine.
call in the West Newbury Riding and Driving Club to do a hunt down.
What if the only expert they have is a strong French accent? Okay, so do we want to move on? My point is that there are psychos everywhere. This country is broken, and we've got so many, people now coming and saying, you know what, it's kind of snuck up on us, but there's a mental health crisis. We need to help. Like, shut up. We know this.
We can see it.
Yes. Okay, so there's one thing I do want to hit. Of all the Sunday shows, I think something's up here. First of all, there was a New York Times article essentially saying Joe Biden's 79. This is not good.
Right.
Essentially. Now, listen to this. This is Gina Raimondo, who is the former governor of Rhode Island. And she's what now? She's Secretary of something.
Commerce, I think.
Commerce, might as well be. And listen to her.
Can I add one more thing about the Biden being 79 thing?
Yeah.
Is that he's clearly mentally failing. There are people who are 79. We were just talking about a family member today who's 85 and as sharp.
Not failing.
Yeah,
right.
Just as sharp as ever and is all there and that's fine. But and this happened after our last Burn Barrel show, so we didn't play it here, although you might have done it at the Connecticut thing. But when he gave this abortion speech and said, repeat the line, and the White House not only published the official transcript with it saying, let me repeat the line, even though we all have a video and we can all see he did not say at all, let me repeat the line. He said, repeat the line,
right,
as though it was written in the teleprompter. But the White House communications people are going out there and saying, no, he said, let me repeat the line. They're just openly, brazenly lying at this point because it's obvious to everybody. And I think that's why you have New York Times articles and all these big media people are starting to say, Houston, we have a problem here, right? This is not going to work. Not only is he historically unpopular and all this stuff, but the guy's mind is gone. How is he going to get through not just the next 2 years of the presidency, but also campaigning and also doing this stuff in what is going to be really a difficult campaign? This is he has an uphill battle already, because he's not super popular, and this isn't Reagan 84, where he has a good situation to run on.
Not only that, but nobody elected him president.
Right.
Nobody voted for Joe Biden.
They voted not for Trump.
Right. There is no such thing as a Joe Biden fan. There was never. Maybe in Delaware there was, but you could tell by his previous runs that nobody.
Well, the true believers of the lefties, sure, they did try and create AstroTurf out a movement of really thinking Joe Biden is awesome, doing this stuff with the aviators and love your dog and he eats ice cream. That's awesome. They did try to do this stuff to try and turn him into, but he was never that. He's never been that. We know what he is. He's been around a long time and he's a known quantity. He's not a rock star. He's not cult favorite. Like, there's nothing there.
No, but it's important to know that he never was. He was always a gaffe machine. He was a guy who had many ethical problems with the truth and stealing other people's biographies. He's fudging grades. He's doing this. He's always had a problem. Jonah Goldberg says that he's incredibly insecure about his intellect, and I think he's right. And that's why Biden does this, like, attaboy thing, not a joke. But the thing is that the old blowhard personality that we all knew Joe Biden from, stand up Chuck, and this is the big effing deal. That was never impressive. It was fun for talk radio because he was a fool so often, loudly, and repeat himself being a fool. But that guy is gone. Some of the foolhardy things are not gone. Some remnants of his old personality are still there. But that guy who was at least energetic is gone.
Well, yeah, and I think it's very telling because people have always known, like you say, that Joe Biden makes a lot of gaffes. He says a lot of stupid stuff. But I think it's very telling that the White House, in response to him making this obvious flub of whatever was written on his teleprompter, their response wasn't their usual, he has a stutter, or, it's just Joe being Joe. He made a gaffe. Obviously, he meant, let me repeat the line. They're not saying that. They're straight up just telling you, no, he said, let me repeat the line.
Right.
And they put that in the official transcript that he said, let me repeat the line. Like, They're just brazenly, openly lying now, which to me tells me that they know they have an extremely serious problem on their hands. And I think the media knows it.
Exactly.
And everybody else.
And that's what I want to get into. So let me play this Gina Raimondo thing.
You brought up abortion rights, and it's interesting, whether it's inflation, whether it's abortion rights, whether it's yet another gun massacre in Illinois, there's a growing group of Democrats that are frustrated, believe that the president isn't showing enough energy, isn't showing enough fight on any of these issues. Is any of this criticism, in your view, justified?
No. Look, it's not about who's the best performer. This isn't about, performative. This is about who's going to go to work every day and get the job done and deliver for women. I have to say, on a personal level, I first fell in love with Senator Biden way back when he was fighting for the Violence Against Women Act. I was an intern at the Department of Justice.
I think she's needling him. I think this is the metadata here is he's old so far. And he used to be for women. And listen, before you go, listen.
This is a guy who has devoted decades to working to help women, to provide women rights, and he's fighting every day now. He just signed the executive order to preserve women's health care and reproductive.
She just signed the executive order last week to preserve women's health care and reproductive rights. That's Chuck Todd might as well have said, pull, and had the clay pigeon go in the air and lifted his shotgun on, because listen to this.
Does that executive order, what does that order do other than tell everybody to follow the law? I mean, I don't, it looks like it's a glorified press release.
Well, you put your finger on an issue. A lot of the things that are coming the president's way, he doesn't have a silver bullet to solve. I mean, these.
The president seems to be failing women. He just signed a very important executive order. It doesn't do anything. Right, it doesn't do anything. Oh, okay. So what is this appearance doing other than showing that Biden is failing in this?
Right, and I do.
Issues have to be solved by Congress, or in this case, the Supreme Court and Congress. So he's doing what a good executive does, which is go to his team and say, give me every option, every tool in my toolbox. And that's what this executive order does. He's pushing the limits of his authority to stand up for women who've had a right taken away. And that's what I know people are frustrated. The folks are cranky with a lot of good reason. But we have to focus on who's going to work every day and solving these problems.
Who? Who? It's apparently not the guy over there who passes the executive orders that you admit don't do anything.
Not who uses the most fiery language. It's who's going to stick up for women and deliver for them, whether it's health care, reproductive rights, or jobs, or training, or child care. And that's President Biden.
Secretary Gina Raimondo.
So I think this is so interesting because there's been rumors about Gina Raimondo for a while that the Democrats want her for president in 2024. I mean, I do think she's a bit of a tough sell because I don't think she's like very much of a household name compared to a lot of these other people. But the establishment loves her. I think it's very clear. She was on a few shows today, at least 2 that I listened to. Do you know how many she was on today altogether? But anyway, she's out there. She's going on shows. She's they're obviously trying to push her. She's like associated enough with the administration, but like in an area that nobody's paying attention to, so she's not like getting that much heat. And I think it's very, very clear with, I don't know if you got any of the Kamala interview from
No, I listened to the whole thing.
But compared to Kamala, she's a brain trust, and she's incredibly articulate and sounds like she knows what she's talking about, whereas Kamala absolutely like is the kid who didn't do the homework, who's like trying to BS their way through answering the teacher's question, but it's just like obvious to the entire class that you didn't do the reading at all, right? Like Kamala just sounds terrible. And I think that when you have the contrast of Kamala on some of these shows this weekend and Gina Raimondo on some of these shows, I think if I were a Democrat, which I'm not, but I think if I were a Democrat watching that, I would say, like, I think I know who we need to run in 2024 right now, because, I mean, at least Gina Raimondo, like, does come across as very competent and thoughtful, and, like, she at least knows what's going on. Kamala sounds, like, nuts. I mean, there's that cut, you didn't grab any of that interview?
There is speculation among some Democrats and some Republicans that President Biden won't run for re-election in 2024. What's your message to those who say that?
Listen to President Biden. He intends to run. And if he does, I intend to run with him. So there you go.
And her thing on gun violence, I don't even know what it was, but it was like communities.
Did you send it to me?
The believe. No, I just listened to the interview.
Okay, hold on. I had to
listen to the interview. Communities that believe have a right to live.
You don't have to abandon your faith,
This is on
whatever
abortion.
that might be. To agree, the government should not be making that decision for women. And so that's why I say, let women make those most intimate decisions. Let people make the most intimate decisions that are about what I call heart and home, which includes contraception, which includes same-sex marriage. Let them make that and be free to make those decisions without government interference.
When you look back, did Democrats fail, past Democratic presidents, congressional leaders, to not codify Roe v. Wade
This is her good line is coming up on
I'm
abortion
sorry.
here too.
Okay.
To not
over the past 5 decades?
I think that, to be very honest with you, I do believe that we should have rightly believed, but we certainly believe that certain issues are just settled. Certain issues are just settled.
Clearly we're not.
No, that's right. And that's why I do believe that we are living, sadly, in real unsettled times.
Yeah, that's Kamala on abortion. I believe we should have rightly believed and certainly believed that certain issues are just settled.
It is remarkable. And, you know, I was thinking about it today, and I thought, it's almost as if she's going to a job interview and put zero effort into it, knows nothing about the field, and is just half-assing it so much. Because if you notice with this guy, and I find this a lot with her, and it's one of the reasons she laughs, because he'll ask a question. Reporters ask questions of her all the time. She'll give a really shoddy, small, quippy answer of nothingness, and then there'll be silence because the reporter cannot believe that
that's it.
That's it. So they'll wait for a while, and then she'll repeat something, and then start laughing, and they're like, "This was." I don't. She's not the answer. So,
but I think, yeah, I think it's there's a very stark comparison happening right now where you're seeing Kamala do stuff like this. And I think it's very obvious why the party establishment and the media likes Gina Raimondo so much more and wants her to run in 2024. That's like what I hear whispers of. I do think it's a little tough because Gina Raimondo is not very exciting.
Well, but that's okay. But so listen to this. This is what I've got. My thing is, and then we can either do chat or we can do it tomorrow.
Let's do it today. Let's do what your thing is, and then we'll do.
So here's my thing. You saw that the you saw that that the thing came out in the Times about Trump. I'm sorry, about Joe Biden being too old. I had just opened it. I apologize. Here he goes. New York Times, at 79, Biden is testing the boundaries of age in the presidency. President Biden has said he plans to run for a second term, but his age has become an uncomfortable issue for him and his party. So I have a theory about this. And my theory is this. One, they all know that he's too old. But I think much like, remember when the Me Too stuff happened? And everybody's career got canceled. Everybody, Weinstein got canceled, and Al, what's his name? The Minnesota senator.
Franken?
Yes, Al Franken got canceled. A whole bunch of other people, like they were jerks on set or this or that, and they went after the Lake Wobegon guy, and the guy. Much of that energy, I felt, and I feel, was made so that the left could say, look, all these people are canceled for doing stuff, so you have to cancel Trump too. So for the Republicans, you got to get rid of Trump too. See all the heads we've brought here? How many people we've beheaded? So you have to do Trump too, because Trump is credibly accused, so you have to do Trump too. And of course, Trump is impervious to that. He doesn't care. He calls them all liars. So I believe that was part of the Me Too thing. Is that it was because, okay, if all these people have to leave Polite Company, then Trump has to leave too, and it's worth it. We'll sell out Franken all day if we can get Trump to go. And it didn't turn out to work. I believe that when they're saying at 79, Biden's testing the boundaries, I think the left is trying to make the case that late 70s is too old no matter what. And we're going to show you, out of our good judgment, responsible country before party, that we're going to sacrifice Joe Biden because that's just too old. And then they're going to say, well, then you can't run Trump because he's also. Old. So that's what we're doing here.
I do think that that's a part of it. I think, like many of the things they have done with Trump, that is going to backfire on them if, say, they end up with DeSantis there. Right? I think it's also tough because Trump is still younger than Joe Biden, even though, they're both old. But Trump is not as old, and Trump very clearly doesn't have the same energy issues and feelings that Biden does. I mean, I think that that's obvious to everybody. The left did try to make that a thing, if you recall, during the Trump presidency with like him drinking water and his gait and stuff. And obviously, if he were elected, we would see that again. They're also in a dangerous position on this issue, kind of because they have John Fetterman running in Pennsylvania, who had a stroke and whose health is in question, and that's like an incredibly important race for them. They really want to win that race.
All right, here we go. Chat time.
Ooh. Dom, this is Grandpapa's attic. Gotta stop eating McDonald's or you'll die.
That's probably true. Same with me, too.
So stop at McDonald's?
Stop eating at McDonald's or you'll die.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. We love McDonald's. Today we had some good food. We went to Marky's, which if you live in the seaport, not seacoast area, it is a thing. As far as the like fried clam stuff, that whole world of stuff, it's fine.
I like the scallops, breaded scallops in the butter. I think
it's fine. Marky's was good, and kudos, thank you, and very efficient. It was lovely. It was very kid friendly, which of course we like.
Hi, Steve from Merrimack.
Hey, Steve.
I'm a little behind on listening because I've been on vacation, but I was just listening to your July 5th episode where you discussed the fact that, quote, Dr., unquote, Keith Ablow used to treat Hunter Biden in Newburyport.
Right.
Sounds like two peas in a pod, but more importantly, I'm sure you might be aware of this. Keith Hadlow is no longer a doctor. He lost his medical license
did he?
because he's such a jackass and touchy-feely and more inappropriate with patients. Thank you.
I had heard that. He was so interesting. He used to fill in on the Michael Graham show when I was a producer, and he was so daring. I forgot what he said. Something like women. It was about breastfeeding and whether it should be done in public. And I said, and we were just shooting the breeze, in the intercom, kind of during the break. And I remember him saying, how do you think it's going? I think it was pretty good. And he said, well, do you think that we were talking about making it stronger? Well, I said, well, I mean, you could say that women who breastfeed in public should be thrown in jail. I don't know that you want to. He said, well, hold on, should I? You think I should? I was like, you're going to throw it all away for one guest spot in this? My goodness. But it was very interesting. Very interesting that he was even willing to go there.
Hey, Tom, I heard Craig and Callahan talk about Nancy Pelosi's sweater puppies. And I think I even heard Jerry make a motorboat noise. All right.
Really?
Bye.
I didn't know that. I hadn't heard that. I have no real comment on that. I think that she, in her heyday, she was probably a lovely woman. Is that safe to say, Alice?
I don't know. I don't really care how she looks on her vacation in Italy. Yeah. I would just like her to retire and go way out from political life.
We don't spend a lot of time on her sweater puppies. That way, I would like Jesse Waters though to get the body cam footage from those cops up with her husband.
Hi, Tom and Alice. This is Julie from Attleboro,
hey,
married
Julie.
to Phil, the Burn Barrel Poet Laureate.
Phil's a great guy.
We crafted a short poem based on Alice's being involved with witchcraft.
Correct.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble, frozen peas we will take in the cauldron, boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog, feet of guinea fowl, tongue of dog. In Alice's brew it boils and bubbles, the Shattuck coven is nothing but trouble. We are shocked that she participates in the dark arts.
And she does.
I do not.
Yes, she does.
Julie, I do like the poem, though, based on Shakespeare.
Well done.
Although those passages are sometimes disputed. Some people think Shakespeare didn't really write those double.
Perfect witchy take on this.
No, I do love the poem, though, and I like the frozen peas reference. And the frozen peas is one of my favorite things that you have always made fun of me for. Eating frozen peas.
It's a joyless thing.
No, it's great. It's an awesome
That French guy eats frozen peas.
Tom.
Yes.
2 words.
Certainly.
Screenshot. Screenshot. You have to screenshot the abysmal Twitter feed from NPR before you forward it on and rip them.
What's that from?
What Twitter feed of NPR did you do?
Screenshot the abysmal. Oh, that's right. That's right. You know what it was?
Did they delete their Twitter?
Yes, they deleted it because they were saying that.
Oh, did they trash Shinzo Abe?
Yes, that's what that was. I'm sure somebody else did. Yeah, that was a Shinzo.
A bunch of people trashed him. I couldn't believe that.
I know.
What a bunch of
the
jerks.
AP did totally. The guy just got freaking shot.
Ooh, ooh. Tom, this is Grandpapa Shattuck. There's Jim's in this here chat. Wish you would have opened them up and listened to them. There's miles and miles upon messages you missed out on.
That is not true. That is not true. We pretty much get to them. I think we pretty much get to them.
Hey, Tom, have you ever seen the movie Wildcats with Goldie Hawn where she coaches a high school football team?
There's a bathtub scene. That's all anybody has to know. Yes, of course, I've seen it.
I have not seen it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alice, you don't want to go down the Goldie Hawn rabbit hole. It's very important to
I like
men.
Overboard.
Yeah.
That's a good
you
movie.
would like it. Typical witch movie.
What? This has nothing to do with witches. Anyway, if you're listening, watching on Patreon, stay right there. We're going to head over to the Patreon show. That is at patreon.com/burnbarrel. We do an extra show each Sunday, and once a month we live stream as well. So you can check that out if you want to. What else can you do? You can also always for free talk to us on Twitter.
Go to Patreon. You can hear the uncut version of my new French friend or whoever he is.
Some people on Twitter saying he might be Macedonian.
Is that true?
I don't know. There is some skepticism about the French thing. Also, some people saying that is pretty fast for a dirt road.
Maybe it is. Apparently people feel very strongly about it. I don't know if I was even
Somebody
going that
said
fast.
Swedish too. It doesn't sound Swedish to me. Swedish is like like that.
It's psycho is what we're dealing with here.
I don't know what he is. Anyway, you can find that on Tom's Twitter or our Twitter @BurnBarrelPod.